With all the rumors of The Rock versus Roman Reigns taking place at WrestleMania 39, we're going to take a deep look at everything that has been happening between The Rock and Roman Reigns, and what it could be leading to in the future. So let's dive deep into one of the most highly anticipated WWE matches that's not even officially confirmed yet, and that's of course The Rock versus Roman Reigns. A lot of fans seem to forget that The Rock and Roman Reigns had a couple of interactions with each other in the past. The first one being on January 13th, 2013 during Raw. This interaction really wasn't a one-on-one situation. CM Punk had the Shield under control, so he sent them out there to attack The Rock. So that was the first instance right there, where even though it was a 3-on-1 beatdown, Roman still put his hands on The Rock. Fast forward 2 years later and much had changed. WWE was ready to launch Roman Reigns to the moon and use The Rock to help Roman connect with the fans. This all went down at Royal Rumble 2015. The crowd did go crazy for The Rock, but that specific crowd wanted no part of Roman Reigns at the time. So that event went off the air with The Rock and Roman Reigns standing in the middle of the ring while getting flooded with boos. So that was their last main interaction. The Rock's role on that night was to get the fans to warm up to Roman Reigns, but even he couldn't get that done back then. Some fans look back at that moment now and say that maybe Roman truly was just meant to be a heel. So now, we fast forward to summer 2020 with Roman Reigns' big return to WWE. Roman had stepped away from WWE during the beginning months of the pandemic, but made a shocking return later that summer. WWE's tagline for SummerSlam 2020 was, "You'll never see it coming," a possible reference to Roman Reigns' return that was happening at the show. It was a shocking return that actually didn't leak out beforehand. It was reported that WWE was even hiding Roman from other employees that night in the Thunderdome, just so that word wouldn't get out early. Fast forward 2 months later, and that brings us to one of Roman's best feuds out of his entire title reign, and that was against Jey Uso. And this is really the starting point for where that dream match and story with The Rock actually started to make sense. Roman Reigns had gone mad. He was brutally destroying his cousins until they gave in, forcing them to stand beside him, and just ruling his own family members with an iron fist. Roman had declared himself as the tribal chief and head of the table for his family, and the only member of the family that contested him, the Usos, were beaten down until they fell in line. So after Roman handled the Usos, there was really no one left from the family that can really do anything. Most of the family members are deep into retirement or too young to stand a chance against Roman Reigns. And that's when the fans came up with the idea of The Rock being the one to stand up against Roman Reigns. The Rock was on top of WWE when Roman was just in elementary school, so if anyone was the true original head of the family and the biggest star in the industry, that would be The Rock. Sure, The Rock is basically semi-retired, but he's not deep into retirement, and everyone is well aware that he's still extremely hard with his training. So, if the family really is miserable and tired of Roman ruling over them like this, then The Rock is the only option left within the family. And maybe in WWE altogether, that really has the best possibility to knock Roman off the throne. It just feels like the big payoff for this entire long title reign and story of Roman Reigns as the tribal chief has to be that match with The Rock. It feels like that's where this entire Roman Reigns story is leading to. It just feels right and makes a lot of sense. Originally, fans thought we could see this match at WrestleMania 37, but scheduling issues made that impossible. Then for months, it was rumored that Survivor Series 2021 would be the official kickoff to the Roman Reigns and Rock storyline. That big event of Survivor Series was supposed to be the big 25th anniversary of The Rock's WWE debut. It was rumored that The Rock would be live and in person at that Survivor Series to have a segment honoring his career, and that segment would get interrupted by Roman Reigns, who would go on to clown The Rock and WWE for dedicating the entire show to The Rock. Knowing Roman's character, maybe he could have said a few cheeky lines there about how The Rock hasn't wrestled in forever, how he hasn't been around in WWE for a while, and how WWE should be dedicating an entire show to him instead of The Rock. That definitely sounds like something that Roman would have said to The Rock if this Survivor Series 2021 moment actually happened. But The Rock had scheduling issues again, which canceled that appearance at Survivor Series. WWE still went ahead and dedicated the show to his career, but he himself wasn't at the show, which now pretty much brings us up to date. So, we're going on nearly 2 years of this fan theory really being around, but no one's giving up on it quite yet. Some fans even discuss the idea of The Rock appearing sometime after WrestleMania to finally confront Roman Reigns and challenge him to a match at next year's WrestleMania. You may be thinking to yourself, that's pretty insane to announce a match a year in advance, but it's something that WWE has done before. They did it back in 2011, where The Rock and John Cena basically confirmed their 2012 WrestleMania match a year in advance. So if it's a high caliber match like that one with Roman versus The Rock, it definitely deserves to get announced early and have a long and great story building up to the match. It's a pretty much no-brainer that Roman Reigns would pick up the victory over The Rock, so there's not much mystery there about who would win, but still, the entire ride, story, promos, and so on would just be incredible to see unfold. So where are we right now in terms of the latest news about this match actually taking place? Well, reports claim that as of this very moment, The Rock versus Roman Reigns is still reportedly on for WrestleMania 39 and will easily be the main event of Night 2. If all that actually happens, it would be Roman's 7th WrestleMania main event and his 3rd one in a row. So just another stat to keep an eye on if that does happen. So this match is reportedly still in plans for next year's WrestleMania, but there's still a lot of questions surrounding that match that are still unanswered, such as the question of, will Roman walk into the match as a world champion? In order for The Rock versus Roman Reigns to feature a world title being on the line, that means Roman would have to retain his title for another full calendar year. So is that something WWE is considering? Do they have enough feuds and stories to keep Roman going as a champion for another year? Even if Roman loses the title sometime before WrestleMania 39, the match with The Rock can still main event WrestleMania as a non-title match because of that big story. The other big question that's still unknown about the match is, when will the story officially begin? Will it be after WrestleMania? Will it be later this year? Will it be early next year? A lot of possibilities there as well, so no one knows when we'll actually really see this story kick off for real. But that's just a quick summary of everything that's been leading up to The Rock versus Roman Reigns so far. Now we just have to wait to see if this match actually takes place at WrestleMania 39. What are your thoughts on The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and who would you like to see win that matchup? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.